So let's do a video on improving focus, paying attention, improving your cognition abilities. This is actually the second video that I've done. The first one, I sneezed in the middle of it and I got interrupted by my son walking through and then the dog barking out the window. One thing I would like to say is that for you to be able to hold attention, you need to minimize any distractions that you may have around you. So turn off your phone, kick the kids out, get the dog out of the room and listen to my voice. So how can you pay more attention? I've been asked this in my private Facebook group by some members of my gym and clients. One thing that I am aware of myself is that it is harder to pay attention when we are having to work from home and we have so many distractions going on around us. I think it's a little bit different when we can take ourselves out of the home environment and be in a place where it supports our work or learning or training. So aside from having to deal with all these changes, what can we do to help us pay attention whilst we are going through these strange times? Stick with me and hopefully you'll learn something. So attention drifts throughout the day, depending on your wake activity cycles. Our attention levels and ability to do anything is going to go in waves. A little bit like our circadian rhythm and sleep cycle, everything we do has a kind of natural life cycle. What we do during the day, we're going to be able to hold attention for so long, do tasks, perform, and then it kind of dwindles because our brain needs to switch off. It needs a little break just to kind of recharge, a little bit like your iPhone battery. So we need to be aware of when it's not ready to pay attention or not ready to help you perform in any way, and then know when you can bring that back. Everything you choose to do will impact everything that you do and everything that you're able to do. So optimizing your well-being means you're paying attention to your mental health and your physical health. You need to do as much as possible to make sure you nourish your brain and allow yourself to have as much cognitive performance as possible. That comes through the food that you choose to eat and drinking enough water. So by optimizing your nutrition, your hydration, your mental and your physical health, you are going to be able to perform more optimally and hold a little bit more attention. We need to take into account the stress that we go through during the day, through work, through training, through friends, family, loved ones. There's a lot that we're having to deal with, and that has a massive impact on our ability to pay attention, to concentrate on tasks that we need to without getting distracted. If you are at a stage where you are learning something new and you are trying to study, learn a new skill, change your behaviors, ingrain new habits, then those changes are going to take place when you sleep, when you allow your brain to switch off and wash itself, because yes, it does wash itself, and regenerate. So nothing is done overnight, nothing changes quickly. It all comes down to how much effort you apply to learning and studying, training yourself a certain way, and then allowing that recovery process to take place. Sleep has to be prioritized. If you find that you're not sleeping well, that is the only thing that I would recommend to you right now. I do know a great sleep coach, so if it's something that you are struggling with and you need a guided hand to do that, let me know. His name is Angus. He's the only sleep coach I am aware of in the UK. But you need to make sure that your sleep is consistent, and it's one of the number one priorities in your life alongside optimal nutrition and hydrating yourself. The key to engaging your attention and focus alongside getting enough sleep is being aware of when your brain is ready to pay the attention that you want it to pay. Your ultradian cycle is where you need to focus on during the day. Usually when we wake up, we're kind of more alert. We have that natural spike, and then anything between 90 minutes to 2 hours is going to kind of drop off. That's probably when you find that you're getting a little bit tired. You may reach for a cup of coffee. You may find yourself reaching for food, or your mind just constantly drifts. I wouldn't recommend that you keep pushing through that. I would tell you to just step away, go do something else. And then when you feel that you're ready to go back to that task, where you need to pay attention, then do it. Our visual focus can improve our mental focus. Using our senses to help us pay attention to the tasks that we need to do is only going to help us pay more attention. Visually, if it's something that you're having to read, you want to make sure there's nothing that's going to distract you on the outside. So around you, your peripheral vision. You don't want your email notifications going off in the corner of your computer. You don't want your mobile phone to the side of you with notifications pinging up on your phone. And there's several things that we can do to improve the level of concentration, and learning to adapt to our natural wake activity cycle is one of the things that is going to help you. Our brain constantly releases chemicals, but two of the chemicals that are responsible for the level of alertness or our ability to concentrate is epinephrine and acetylcholine. And we can increase the level of these chemicals with how much visual focus we apply to certain tasks. So if I was to get you to focus on, I don't know, let's say a pen, and I wanted you to just hold your gaze on that pen and constantly look at what it looks like, the color that it is, the shape, and keep staring at it, your mind should kind of just be paying attention to that. Eventually you're going to get distracted and your eyes are going to look somewhere else, or your ears are going to come into play. A big thing is when we are listening to people as well, our eyes can distract us from hearing what somebody is saying. So holding your eyes when somebody's talking to you, you probably find that you daydream. If you try and get me to look at your face when we're having a conversation, I am going to drift away. My brain does go into a daydream. The same when I am driving. I tend to listen to podcasts when I'm driving, and my attention is on what is being said, and then it tends to drift into some ideas, and I'm pretty much in autopilot when I do drive. But the great thing about our brain is it learns really quickly. So I know the route to take to go to work. I pretty much know where all the potholes are and when the bends are coming. So whilst I am driving with awareness, my attention's probably not always on the road. So think about these things that you do day to day where you're not actually paying attention to how you're doing them and what's involved, because your brain's learn over time where you're going, what you're doing, and how to do it quickly. So again, using our senses, holding your eyesight to words that you need to pay attention to, visual images will help you pay more attention. If you need to listen to things, you'll probably find that you're able to pay more attention when your eyes are closed. My advice there will be give it a go and understand how you learn best in those circumstances. Eliminating distractions, absolutely essential to making sure you pay attention to what you need to be paying attention to. Too many distractions are going to result in you losing that focus and that attention. I'm going to put the pen down because I'm fiddling with it. So get rid of your phone, put it in another room, turn it off. Do not turn it on. As I said at the beginning of the video, turn off the notifications on your computer, get rid of the kids, kick the dog out of the house, tell your partner to go into another room, and just zone in on the work that you need to be done. Set yourself a timer. You can hold yourself accountable to other people. That could be work colleagues. It could be your training partners, you could find a group online, but finding and having a support group around you when you need to do certain tasks or you're looking to accomplish something new, it's probably going to give you a little bit of motivation to do it. But make sure you actually want to do it and it's not just some mundane task. You can't get away from that if you are working. But again, just know when you're going to be able to produce the quality of work that you need to in order to make sure that your boss and your colleagues are happy and you're doing the job that you're getting paid to do. Agitation when we are focusing our minds on tasks is totally normal. When I started to read books during the last lockdown, I would struggle to get past a couple of pages. After reading a couple of paragraphs, I'd be kind of 5 minutes into reading and I'd be distracting myself. I'd be trying to think of something else to do. I'd be picking up my phone. But one thing I learned is if you just let yourself go through that agitation, you're going to be able to continue reading. It's what our brains want us to do anyway. It doesn't want us to work hard at something. It wants the easy route. By demanding more attention, you're demanding more energy, and it's hard for our brain to do that. Push through it, let those chemicals be released, and you'll probably find over time it will get a lot easier for you. The last one is understanding why. And I try and get this across to all my clients and members, and it's understanding why you want to do something. The results that you're going to get out of it, understand what benefit that's going to give you, how you're going to do it, how it's going to benefit everybody around you, how it's going to impact everybody around you, kind of how you're going to do it, set yourself a timeline. All these little things are going to help you want to do that task a little bit more. Get excited about something, understand what you need to do and how you're going to do it. Make sure you're more committed to doing that task. And if it's not something that you're going to find enjoyment from, question why you actually want to do it. What is the need for you doing that thing? What is the need for you giving your attention and your time and your energy to that task, whatever it may be, that is demanding your focus and attention. Supplements, I'll let you read this one. I'm not going to recommend anything other than you getting a decent night's sleep, making sure you're properly hydrated to make sure that your brain can concentrate the best to its ability. If you're desperately in need of having more concentration during your day and you have tried to improve your sleep and your rest activity cycles, then yes, there are supplements that you can take. The only one I'm going to recommend here is caffeine. But again, if you want to Google, just Google how you can increase focus or attention. And Google will kindly give you a list of products that you can take. I will always say, make sure you go and speak to a doctor though, or get some medical advice on what you are taking. Don't just buy anything. I'm not into supplements and I don't agree it's the best way to help you get the results that you want in anything. And there's better ways that we can learn to do that. And yes, it's the hard way, but ultimately it is the best way for you. Monitor yourself, monitor how you perform during the day. Pay attention to how you feel in the morning. Pay attention to how you're feeling when you're doing tasks. I can give you a link to a performance optimization leaflet, which again just gives you a quick little way to recognize when your brain is more alert and you can do all those exciting, important, mundane jobs, and when you can do all the little stuff. Really, it's about you performing the best way that you can. Hopefully that's helped you, but remember, pay attention to what you're paying attention to. That is the best way to focus. If you've struggled with paying attention to anything during lockdown, might be a good idea to hold yourself accountable to a friend or a coach, or just finding a support group online. If you are really struggling with stress, I would recommend Headspace. I haven't used it myself, but it has been used a lot by people in the same line of work as myself. I believe it is an app that you can get, and I will give a link to, I think they've got a 3-month trial But again, it's a meditation tool, but ultimately it's kind of encouraging you to remove all distractions and just give yourself a little bit of time to pay attention to who you are, how you feel, what's been going on in the day. Hopefully that's helped you. Hopefully you get some benefit from it. If you are struggling, reach out. I'm happy to have a chat and see what I can do. I'll throw you into my support group and see what benefits you can get out of there. But thank you and goodbye.